What's up, guys? Today we're going to be breaking down and comparing and contrasting Marvin Harrison Jr. to Malik Nabers. So this is a question I put out on my Instagram story was, who do you think which rookie wide receiver is better? So we're going to be going over some of the positive aspects of each of their games, how they're actually really, really similar, and then some things that I feel Nabers does a little bit better than Marvin Harrison Jr., why I think Nabers is just a tad better. So let's break down this first router. So this is Malik Nabers running kind of almost a hitch and go, and then we're going to look at Marvin Harrison Jr. also running a double move route, and they have such similar aspects of their route running when it comes to a double move route. So Nabers is going to be running here. He breaks down, gives this good move back to the inside to sell this hitch, obviously gets this DB to crash. Now let's take a look at this DB's coverage right here. Obviously he's inside shade. This looks like off man coverage. Anytime that we see man-to-man coverage, usually what is a DB looking at on a wide receiver? He's going to be looking at their hips. So anytime that I run a double move type route, whether it's a slant and go, a post corner, I have to sell the movement with my hips. It's more than just my eyes, right? A lot of people think oh, make sure you look back to the quarterback. But if you look back to the quarterback and your hips are saying that you're going vertical, that guy's not going to drop. So take a look at what Nabers does right here is when he breaks down and he goes back to the inside, you see his eyes shoot to the quarterback, but his hips and his shoulders, and he is stepping to the inside to get that DB to drive. That is what sells it. Think about a post corner, for example. When I break to the post, yes, I got to snap my eyes to the QB, but my hips and my shoulders also have to say post because that will sell it more. The head is a little bit of it, but the hips and the shoulders is the icing on the cake. Now, after you make that move, one thing that I will say that he does a little bit, maybe not the best right here, and it could be the play timing, and they have maybe a safety over the top, is that when you get a guy to bite on a double move, usually, fellas, make sure you keep your head down. Keep your head down for 3 to 4 steps so we can widen that gap with that DB so I catch up to the ball, especially if the quarterback puts it out there. Now, obviously, Daniel Jones kind of sells this play a little bit and underthrows it. That should be an easy touchdown, but whenever we're running a double move route, it's not just your eyes, it is also your hips and your shoulders. Also, fellas, if you are a quarterback or wide receiver, we are going to be traveling out to 15 different states across the U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So, guys, check out that very first link in the description below if you are interested. We are going to be coming out to all the states that you see on the screen here. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, Orlando, Phoenix, Charlotte, Austin, Las Vegas, Seattle, Chicago, Newark, New Jersey, Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Boise, and finishing off in Los Angeles. So, guys, if you would like to work with myself and my staff of coaches, we'd love to have you out. So check out that very first link in the description below. Last year, all of our camps sold out very, very fast. And obviously, I know it is still, I guess, say October when we're filming this video. But everything's going to fill up probably by January, you guys. So make sure you get your spots. We had to turn away a lot of people last year because we limit the spots so everybody gets quality reps and actually gets, the right amount of time dedicated to an athlete individually because that's just our style of coaching. So make sure that's not you that we have to turn away, guys. So very first link in that description below. We'd love to see you there. Let's get back to this breakdown. All right, so this route from Marvin Harrison Jr. I think would have gotten more publicity because I deem what the public thinks based off of a social media presence, right? This is maybe the way I'm wired. Maybe it's from making videos on social media. I don't know. But everybody posts Malik Nabers everywhere. Anytime he has a good route, anytime he has a great catch, and the posts go everywhere. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. here runs a very, very good blaze out route, which is considered a post out. So it's not a post corner, it's still a double move, but instead of breaking off a 1 foot back to the corner, you would drop your hips and get 90 degrees on an out route. So that's ultimately what he runs here, and I think a lot more people would be talking about this if he got the ball. So I'm going to play this full speed, then we'll break it down. So as you can see, breaks to the post. I'm going to move myself a little bit down so you guys could see this a little bit better, so you guys could see the break. But when he breaks to the post, very, very similar to Malik Nabers in terms of a concept of him selling the first move with his hips, not only just his eyes, but I want you to see Harrison's eyes snap to the inside, but his hips, his shoulders are committed on that post angle. I think that's important because obviously this is a different type of coverage. Nabers is working that hitch and go versus inside shade off man. Probably one of the easier coverages to work this against. He's trying to run a post out right here, Marvin Harrison, versus a DB who's off in zone. So what's going to get him to crash is I got to enter his line of sight but my hips and my shoulders have to be committed to the post when I get into his line of sight. Again, he's not watching our eyes. DBs are never taught to watch the eyes, the head, and the shoulders. Some do, but they're not taught that. They're taught to key in on our hips, and that is what we ultimately have to sell it with. So obviously he breaks to the inside, and you see his ability to just kind of drop on a dime. Like, Harrison's a big dude, right? I think he's a lot bigger than Malik Nabers, and when he drops into his breaks, it is very, very smooth. Like, when I'm breaking on a post out, I break off of my outside foot. In this case, would be Marvin Harrison's like right foot. And to blaze the out, a lot of people call this a blaze out route. That's when you take 3 steps to get back to the out break. So a lot of receivers can't do that efficiently. They'll break to the post, but when they try to get back to the out route, they take 1,000,000 steps, and that allows a defender to recover. So let's watch this again. When he breaks off his outside foot to the post, it's 3 steps to the post. So he goes 1, 2, 3. And on the 3rd step, that is when you're dropping your hips. It's a violent drop. You have to sit down. I recommend trying to get like parallel with your legs. Like, your legs should be at a 90-degree angle. But when you snap, your next step is what not guarantees, but the next step is what determines if you get out of the break in 3 steps or 5 steps. So you snap, your second step needs to ultimately pivot. And when it pivots on that 45, that starts to turn your hips. Your 3rd step hooks around, and you push off of that 3rd step to get you out of the break. So for him to be able to do that at his size, moving at that kind of speed downfield, showcases that he has very, very good routes. I think a lot of people hype up Malik Nabers with his route running. I think Marvin Harrison is right there. I think they're even in terms of a route running standpoint. But there are some things I feel Nabers does a little bit better than Marvin Harrison, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. I think Malik Nabers is better at making tough catches. I think something that separates a lot of wide receivers from each other is obviously their ball skills, right? So, like, what can you do when the ball's in the air? Ball is thrown to you. You're in tight coverage. Can you come down with the catch? Some of the best guys at that in the league, I think Jamar Chase is great. I think Justin Jefferson is great. I think Devontae Adams. They're all great at doing this exact type of thing. So this is a play that Malik Nabers had against the Browns. Jump ball, defender draped all over him, right? But he still makes something happen, right? So the ball's thrown to him. He goes up, pretty much just head taps the dude, pulls the ball away from him, is able to stay in bounds, and secures that catch. I feel that that is something that we have not seen yet from Marvin Harrison Jr. And this is the one edge that I will give to Malik Nabers. I feel like he has probably some of the best hands and ball skills, and definitely in the rookie class, if not maybe the NFL, right? So I'm going to play this again one more time for you guys. But a lot of you probably don't understand how tough of a catch this is. Having to go over a dude, secure that thing, rip it from him, and stay in bounds. Now, let's take a look at this Marvin Harrison clip. Now, on this, you could make the argument that Kyler Murray missed this throw, but I still think with a guy of Marvin Harrison's size, a guy with Marvin Harrison's talent, you put this ball anywhere near him, he should come down with the ball. And I'm not saying he can't. There have been plays at Ohio State where he has done this exact same thing, but I think this is maybe something that we haven't seen from him that we have seen from Malik Nabers. So let's play this full speed, then we'll talk about it, right? So it's just a simple goal line fade, ball is thrown. Like, I think we got to come down with that. That's just my opinion. I feel if we could get one hand on it, we should be able to get the other one over there in this situation. Maybe he didn't anticipate how hard Kyler Murray was throwing it. Maybe they just weren't on the same page. Maybe he thought it was going back pylon. Kyler Murray wanted to put it back shoulder. Obviously, that's a chemistry thing between quarterbacks and wide receivers, but I haven't seen Marvin Harrison make the type of plays that Malik Nabers has in terms of securing the ball. So if we're talking about who is better, I'm probably going to give the slight edge to Malik Nabers just because I feel like he is better at securing the catch and making the tough catches. Because as a receiver, you got to understand, like, at the end of the day, what is your job? Run the right route and make a catch, right? At the end of the day, when we simplify a receiver's job, right? Now, again, you could run a crappy route. It could be the right route, and the quarterback throws you a ball and you make a catch. You're going to be on the field. Let's say we have 2 receivers, right? One of the receivers runs, a fantastic route. He's open every time, but it's 50-50. He may catch it, he may not.